UFC 320 this Saturday from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. 2 title fights in the main event and the rematch for the light heavyweight championship. Magomed Ankalaev takes on Poatan Alex Pereira, and in the co-main event, Magomed Dvalishvili defends his bantamweight championship yet again for the third time against Corey Sandhagen. Well, he's defending the belt for the third time. You know what I mean. We've got, again, 14 fights on this card from Las Vegas, Nevada, and 2 title fights. Can't ask for much more than this. Folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more MMA content here on Greedo Plays MMA. Tomorrow, we will have our Dana White's Contender Series predictions. Actually, Tuesday we're going to have our Dana White's Contender Series predictions. I forgot PFLs this week as well. Magomedov versus Hughes 2. So Contender Series Tuesday morning. Tomorrow, PFL Champion Series, Usman Nurmagomedov, Paul Hughes predictions on the channel. Also, go make sure to check out the main channel, Greedo Plays, daily MLB Best Bets, college football predictions, NFL predictions. We've got it all as we get on now to the first of our 14 fights from Las Vegas, kicking things off with a matchup we're all waiting for. I mean, who's not waiting for this one? Brogan Walker takes on Veronica Hardy. How Brogan Walker finessed another fight in the UFC? I don't know. That one's beyond me. I don't understand this one, but here we are. Guys, I'll lay this out for you right now. This is set up for Veronica Hardy to win. I mean, I hate to break it to you right now. Veronica Hardy's beating Brogan Walker. The odds indicate that. The Tapology picks indicate that. And Brogan Walker's results in the UFC indicate that. We're going to break this all down right now. Veronica Hardy is a minus 620 favorite to beat Brogan Walker. That's what you need to know, number one. Number two, 97% of voters are picking Brogan Walker. Oh, I know what you're thinking. If 97% of people jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? No, I wouldn't. But that should go to show like where Brogan Walker, where the community and where the UFC fan base kind of respects Brogan Walker. 3, Brogan Walker hasn't fought in 2.5 years. I forgot she was on the roster. Her last fight was in April of 2023. And I thought to myself, what was I doing in April 2023? I mean, I was living a whole different life back then. Think about where you were at in April of 2023. Exactly. All right. Brogan Walker, last time she fought in the Apex. It was a main card of an Apex card on Curtis Blades and Sergey Pavlovich main event. I remember I was watching this fight at a Black Bear Diner. Anyways, Yasmin Lucindo beat Brogan Walker by unanimous decision. And then you think, okay, well, what was the other time Brogan Walker fought in the UFC? I actually know where I was at too. This is back in July or August of 2022. I don't know why I remember where I was one of the two. Maybe I'm not giving Brogan Walker enough credit because I remember where I was the 2 times I've watched Brogan Walker fight. Actually, now that I think about it, I could probably remember where I was for a lot of these fights too. Like even Veronica Hardy. I kind of know where I was anyways. When Brogan Walker fought Juliana Miller, I was at a California pizza kitchen watching that fight. You didn't need to know that, but Brogan Walker last fought, or her Ultimate Fighter fight, was in August of 2022. She's 0-2 in the UFC, she's 36 now, and she's a 7-4 UFC fighter. In professional mixed martial arts fights, Brogan Walker's lost 4 out of her last 5. Came into the UFC, losses to Pearl Gonzalez and Aaron Blanchfield and Invicta, won 1 fight over a 5-5 Emily King, and got a shot on the Ultimate Fighter, where she did win 2 fights. Now again, those are technically amateur bouts, but she beat Hannah Guy, who was kind of hyped up going into that season. I thought Hannah Guy was actually going to do pretty well because we saw her beat Valerie Lareda. Now in WWE, Valerie Lareda, probably the right career move for her. What is her UFC? I don't even know what her WWE name is. Don't watch that product anymore. But anyways, Walker beats Hannah Guy, beats Laura Gallardo, who was never cream of the crop, and now she's 0-2 in the UFC. Veronica Hardy's 4-5 in the UFC. Over a very long time period. Guys, Veronica Hardy's actually been in the UFC now for 9 years. Now, didn't fight from 2020 to 2023, but since her return, let's say, in early 2023, she beat Juliana Miller, who beat Brogan Walker. She then beats Jamie Lynn Horth by split decision, beats JJ Aldridge, and is coming off a loss to Eduardo Maura. That's fine. I mean, guys, Veronica Hardy will have her way in this fight with Brogan Walker. Brogan Walker doesn't really excel in anything, and that might sound harsh, but it's the truth, guys. Veronica Hardy, takedowns are going to be there, striking game should be there. What does Brogan Walker do all that well? She's 36 now, and she hasn't fought in 2.5 years. I wonder what's going to happen. Give me Juliana Miller's, I don't know how I was going to tie that in with Juliana Miller. She's fought both of them. I lost my English there. I was going to say, give me the fighter that actually beat Juliana Miller against the fighter who lost to Juliana Miller. That's what I was going for. And yes, does MMA math always work like that? No, but it does here. Veronica Hardy's better than Brogan Walker, and she will beat Brogan Walker by decision. On to our second fight of the night, we move to the welterweight division. We've got Austin Vanderford taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. Now, I'm not going to always talk about the Tapology picks, and this is probably the last time you're going to hear me talk about the Tapology picks for the rest of the video. I find this one confusing, though. I don't know why 35% of people are taking Ramiz Brahimaj to win this fight. When the odds indicate, obviously, and I will tell you right now, too, Austin Vanderford's a pretty big favorite to win this fight, and I'd be very surprised if Austin Vanderford does not win this fight. I have never been sold on Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz Brahimaj somehow is 4-3, and it surprised me he was 4-3 in the UFC. He was a huge underdog against Billy Ray Goff in his last bout, and he found a way to beat Billy Goff. He beat him with a guillotine choke. Brahimaj has now put together back-to-back victories with his knockout win over Mickey Gall at UFC 309, and then, of course, the win over Goff. But, I mean, look at all of Brahimaj's wins in the UFC. Let's go over. Sasha Plotnikov. Come on now. Michael Gilmore, one of the worst UFC fighters of all time. Mickey Gall. There's a reason he fought CM Punk and Mike Jackson. And then, unfortunately for Billy Goff, he just gets thrown in together with all those guys. But Billy Goff's a 1-2 UFC fighter. Now, Austin Vanderford, I know, has only fought once in the UFC. It's against Nikolai Veretennikov, or Veretennikov, I think they're calling him now. He's actually in the very next fight. And Vanderford won. He wins by TKO in Seattle. He, beats up on Veretennikov, however they're calling him now. He wins. He puts his arms up, and Veretennikov runs up behind him and shoves him. Okay. Vanderford is 1-0 in the UFC, so shout out to Austin Van Zandt. Did exactly what we thought he was going to do against Veretennikov. Take him down, take him down, look for strikes, and eventually finish the fight. We had Vanderford by decision. He wins like expected. Guys, Austin Vanderford's actually pretty good. Vanderford's only losses ever are Gegard Mousasi and Aaron Jeffrey. Aaron Jeffrey, obviously, good fighter, not great fighter. Lost to Dalton Roast in the PFL tournament this year before Roast eventually got head kick knocked out by Fabian Edwards. And one of those moments where it's just, you wonder if, MMA's real or not. Oh, and the exact anniversary of Leon's knockout, Fabian does it too. Really? Okay. And, here's the camera shot of Dakota Ditcheva watching Roasta get knocked out. Oh, had it already. I'm not saying that fight was rigged. I don't think it was, but I found it funny. Anyways. Vanderford's only lost to Mousasi and Jeffrey. Back-to-back wins, one LFA, and, of course, the Veretennikov fight. But look good in the Nikolai fight. And he gets Ramiz Brahimaj, who, yes, is a grappler in his own right, too. Guys, he's not on the level of Vanderford. His jiu-jitsu might be a little bit better. His wrestling's not better than Austin Vanderford. I mean, I've seen Vanderford go out there and just maul guys on the ground. I mean, Vanderford, we've seen, has trained with Chael Sonnen. I don't think he's still with Sonnen, but I know, again, Sonnen's very close, somewhat close to Vanderford and Van Zandt. But this is a guy who's got good grappling, but got better wrestling. And I just think that's going to be really tough for Brahimaj, who's got grappling and got jiu-jitsu. But here's the thing. I just think Vanderford's got better grappling and better stuff on the ground. Austin Vanderford will dominate this fight, and I really don't see it being that close. That's why I was surprised when I saw the Tapology picks. What are we seeing here out of Brahimaj? Maybe is his striking better than Vanderford? I will say it is. I saw him drop Mickey Gall pretty early in the fight, but a lot of fighters would drop Mickey Gall. Hell, Ramiz Brahimaj got knocked down. I know this was 3 years ago, but he got knocked down by Court McGee in the Apex. I can't be sold on Ramiz Brahimaj here. And again, look at his victories. It's Sasha Plotnikov, Michael Gilmore, Mickey Gall. Austin Vanderford would destroy all of those guys. Austin Vanderford is going to take Brahimaj down. It's a style of fight that Brahimaj usually wants to fight. Hell, look at his last fight against Billy Goff. It's a whole nother world with Austin Vanderford. Vanderford will take him down. He's going to have his way with him. Pause. You know what I mean. Give me Austin Vanderford to beat Ramiz Brahimaj. He'll dominate the fight on the mat. I'm going Vanderford to go to 2-0 in the UFC with a decision victory over Ramiz Brahimaj. We move on now to our third fight of the night in the welterweight division. Punahele Soriano takes on the aforementioned Nikolai Veretennikov. I'm going to call him Veretennikov. That's just how I've gotten used to saying his name. I think they're just going to say it Veretennikov. It's Veretennikov for me. Anyways. We got the Kazakhstani here in Veretennikov taking on Puna Soriano. Soriano's been an up and down roller coaster so far in the UFC. I think that's one way to put it. I mean, at one point in time, Soriano had a lot of promotional backing around him. The UFC was very excited for him. He had the first ever fight on ABC, where he beat, of course, Dusko Todorovic. Dana hyped it up in the pre-fight and the build-up until that fight as the two undefeated fighters. Someone's probably going to get knocked out. Who's going to keep their O as we have our first ever fight on ABC? It was Puna Soriano beating Dusko Todorovic. He then walked into a Brendan Allen fight as a favorite to beat Brendan Allen. Now, this is an old fight from July of 2021, but I did take Brendan Allen to beat Puna Soriano. We saw that fraud check from a mile away, and Brendan Allen beat Puna Soriano as an underdog. I did not understand that one. Now, Puna since then's been very up and down, right? Losing to Brendan Allen, lost to Nick Maximov, bounce backs and beats Dalja Lujiambula, loses to Ramon Kopylov, loses to Dustin Stoltzfus, but then puts together back-to-back victories over Miguel Baeza and Uros Medic. The Medic victory, didn't see that one coming. UFC, that was a fight night. I thought it was in Inglewood. It was the Dern Hebas card. He knocks out Uros Medic in 30 seconds, first card of 2025. That came out of nowhere. And that should show you, and it does, what Puna is capable of. Puna can put you down. Puna has the power to do it. I look at Nikolai Veretennikov. He does have a win in the UFC. Won his last fight against Francisco Prado. Didn't think he was going to win it, but he did. I thought Prado, I don't know if he should have won. It was close, though. And that fight goes to show, better fighters are going to beat Veretennikov. And I'm not telling you Puna is going to be a world champion. He's going to be ranked, but Soriano's better than Nikolai. Nikolai gets hit. I mean, we saw that in the Danny Barlow fight. Even though that fight was boring. We saw Veretennikov get dominated on the ground by Austin Vanderford. I didn't even think he won the Prado fight. It was a split decision. I had Prado winning. I think he should be 0-3 in the UFC. I think he should be 0-3 in the UFC plus a contender series loss to Michael Morales. I don't know. I mean, you got to give him another fight, obviously. You can't cut him, but I'm going Puna Soriano. This is easy for me. It is extremely easy. Puna's a better striker. On the ground, I know Puna doesn't wrestle that much. If he needs to, like he did in the Miguel Baeza fight, he will be able to take down Veretennikov. Okay, I know Prado had a little bit of trouble getting it down. Trust me, we've seen it before, and I know Vanderford just is that guy. He's good, but no. Veretennikov, however the hell you want to say his name, his grappling is very limited, and it's not that great. So the opportunity really presents itself in this fight for Puna to win. And I would be very surprised if Soriano does not get the nod here. I think we see a striking fight because I think, again, that's where Nikolai is probably going to be most comfortable in this bout. And obviously, we know that that's where Puna wants fights to be too. So in a striking battle, well, obviously, I'm going to be taking Puna Soriano. So I think we see it on the feet. I think Puna's going to do something that no one has done so far against Veretennikov, and that's finish him on the feet. He's never been knocked out, at least standing-wise, right? Michael Morales actually went 15 minutes with the guy and couldn't finish him. And Danny Barlow, same thing. Austin Vanderford, obviously took him down. Other thing with Nikolai is he's 35, about to be 36. I mean, that's just, it's difficult for the Wushu Sanda fighter here, and Nikolai Veretennikov. I'm going Punahele Soriano to knock him out in the very first round. I think he'll make it look easy. We go on to our fourth fight of the night, and this is interesting. And it's interesting because this is how far Patchy Mix has fallen. Patchy Mix goes from main card of UFC pay-per-view with a win potential title shot to now having to fight off Jakob Wiklacz in Wiklacz's UFC debut. Oh boy. It's a dangerous fight. It's a dangerous fight because Wiklacz, who is the reigning KSW champion, is I wouldn't call him completely unknown, but he is relatively unknown. And KSW is a good promotion. They've got guys, off the top of my head, the most notable champion over there, Mateusz Gamrot, most recently, Jan Blachowicz, champion over there. Dricus Duplessis has fought in KSW as well. Never won the KSW. I know it did win the KSW championship. He beat Soltich. Who am I kidding? I immediately, when I think Dricus regional, I think EFC. But KSW produces good fighters. And now there are, some busts as well. I mean, not to call her out, but I mean, Ariane Lipski is a former KSW champion who, hasn't really turned out in the UFC. Marcin Held had a very short-lived run in the UFC. Actually, no, Marcin Held is recently KSW, though, because he started in Bellator. So, no, there are some fighters, though, again, that don't turn out in the UFC from KSW, right? But we'll see what Patchy Mix is able to do here. What I'm getting to is essentially, this is a terrible matchup for Mix. Not to say he's not going to win. I'm not going to give away the prediction right now. I'm just saying in terms of matchup-wise. Okay, Mix wins, great. You beat a guy that nobody knows, at least the casual fan doesn't know. You go from fighting on a main card of a pay-per-view, you're hyped up, you get Mario Bautista, the UFC's treating you like you're a big deal, like you're going to get a title shot with the victory, and you lose. You look horrible, and you don't move your head. You stand there and you go, like, you have no head movement. You're getting tagged, and you lose a decision, you look horrible. I mean, it was a disgusting night for Patchy Mix. And now you get a guy that, okay, I'll say right now, I think he's going to win. And I'll get to the breakdown in a second. But even with the victory, you beat Jakub Wiklacz, who is a good fighter, but a fighter from KSW who has no experience in the UFC, and the casual fan hasn't beaten anybody. And let's just be honest, to Dana White's perspective, Dana's reaction to Jakub Wiklacz is, what? Who is that? What? Wiklacz? I never heard of him. But I'm serious. That's probably Dana's reaction when he's watching this fight from the backstage area. We got Patchy fighting this guy now? Never heard of him. I'll tell you why Patchy's going to win. Wiklacz is a primary grappler. He can strike, but like Patchy, he wants the fight to be on the mat. I'll be damned if Patchy Mix gets out grappled here. I know Wiklacz can strike and he can scrap with you on the feet. He has that ability, but I mean, I will be damned if he goes out here and just completely out grapples Patchy Mix. I don't think he can, guys. I want to believe in Patchy Mix because, guys, I watched him through Bellator. Now, was his last Bellator fight concerning against Magomedov? 100% it was. It was very concerning. It was a boring fight that he won in France. I know, again, that kind of got buried because, Doumbé was on the card, and, it was, Mix proposed after the fight or whatnot, or he proposed the night before, but they made a big deal out of it. Chael made a big deal out of, he's getting married to Tatiana Suarez, so we kind of just forgot that fight. And we also forgot about the Magomedov fight because, he's in the UFC now. He's going to turn up. He's 20-1. Nobody's ever really beat him before, right? His only losses to Juan Archuleta back in the day and whatever. Like, oh, man. He hasn't really looked like Patchy Mix since the Sergio Pettis victory, if we're being honest, because the Magomedov fight was not good. But it doesn't get worse than the Mario Bautista fight. I mean, guys, Patchy Mix is below Macy Chiasson on a UFC pay-per-view card. One of the Basharat brothers got a higher fight on the card. These guys only go to decisions, and they're above Patchy Mix. That's nothing against Farid Basharat, who we'll talk about later, but damn, he's fallen. Wiklacz can scrap. Mix's striking isn't great. It's good enough to beat Wiklacz. Like, I will be so shocked if he doesn't win here. And I guess we're going to find out. We're going to truly find out what Patchy Mix is in 2025 in the UFC. By the way, he's only 32 years old. Yep. Not like he's washed. Not like he came here at the end of his career like Patricio Pitbull. No, he's 32. This guy's supposed to be in his prime. He's supposed to be fighting for championships. And he's on the fourth fight of a pay-per-view card. This is brutal, man. He'll beat Jakub Wiklacz. I just don't think Wiklacz is a better grappler, and I don't think his striking is good enough to beat Mix. I think Mix, if he doesn't adjust anything from his last fight, could lose. But, I mean, you've had 5 months to think about this and what you've done on one night for 15 minutes. You've had 3 months, so still. You've had 3 months to think and, replay that fight against Mario Bautista in your head and, right in front of you, too. So, I got to assume he's made adjustments. I'm going to take Patchy Mix to beat Jakub Wiklacz. I'm going to go Mix by decision. I think we'll see probably just him out grappling Wiklacz and maybe some striking too, but give me Patchy Mix. On to our fifth fight of the night, and yes, This fight got a higher spot on the card than Patchy Mix, one of the greatest Bellator fighters ever. This fight is higher on the card. Nothing against Chiasson and Yana Santos, but seriously, this is just me more of like, damn, this is where Patchy Mix is. And again, Mix wins. He gets right back into the swing of things. But this, I mean, I haven't been more excited by a Bellator guy in a very long time than Patchy Mix in the UFC. And oh man, 15 minutes is all it took for his stock to go from here. We're talking about Merab to bang. Guys, if Patchy Mix would have beat Mario Bautista and finished Mario Bautista, I can almost guarantee you he'd be fighting in the main event, in the co-main event of this card. I know Sandhagen, he beats Diaz and Figueiredo, guys. They would have given the shot, I believe, to Mix if he had subbed Bautista. They did not want Sandhagen in this spot, and we'll get to that later, but it's not, Merab's teammates already choked him out, and Diaz and Figueiredo win in 2025 gets you a title shot. Sandhagen's 1-1 in his last 2 fights. We'll get to that later. By the way, Piotr Jan also has a win over, why did Jan fight Marcus McGee? He should have been fighting here. Whatever. UFC was... that's their punishment to Mix. You lost? You're supposed to be in the co-main event this week. No. Go fight on Fight 4 against unknown Jakub Wiklacz, who could get you. Have fun. Okay, next up. Macy Chiasson, Yana Santos. I'm oozing with excitement for this fight. I will be seated for this one. You know, my Indiana Hoosiers are on bye week this weekend, so I don't really... I'm not going to be too concerned. I will be watching college football, but I'm not going to be glued to the Indiana Hoosiers game. Shout out to Fernando Mendynasty. It's the Menheisman, Fernando Mendoza. But I'm going to be locked in for this one. I mean, there's not a place I'd rather be than my couch watching Macy Chiasson versus Yana Santos. I will make sure I got my eyes glued to this one. Yana Santos has won 2 straight fights, hasn't she? Wow. Beat Chelsea Chandler, beat Miesha Tate. Why does Miesha Tate still fight? Santos is 35, coming off having a kid. Well, she had a kid a while ago, but she's back now fully, obviously. She did have a kid, right? Or am I getting Mandela affected here? No, I'm like fairly certain Yana Santos had a kid. I'm like very certain she did. Chiasson lost her last fight to Kelvin Vieira. That was May of this year. Vieira, I guess, is putting herself in a good position for a title shot. She's going to be fighting Norma Dumont in November, where the winner's probably going to get a title shot on the Fight Night card, main evented by Steve Garcia and David Onama. Are we serious? I saw Randy Brown and Bonfim are main eventing a card, too, in the Apex later this year. What are we doing? Good fights, but main event fights? Oh, hell no. Just say you don't care about ESPN. You want college football just to kind of take over for a little bit. Anyways, Chiasson loses to Kelvin Vieira. She goes out there, and it's not a great fight. Vieira just takes her down and holds her down. Can Yana Santos do that? Not really. It's not really what she does. Yana Santos is kind of the opposite of that. She's usually one getting taken down. Hell, Vieira did that to her, but that was a weird fight. Yana Santos actually has a win over Kelvin Vieira, because Vieira went out there and just grappled her the entire time and literally didn't throw a strike, so Vieira just lost because she had a bunch of control, but you did no damage, and that's how you should score fights, okay? More on that in the main event. Damage-based scoring. That's how you win. Damage. Anyways. This fight between Chiasson and Santos, it's something. It's one of the fights of all time. I believe Chiasson will win. I know I didn't give a in-depth breakdown, and I apologize. This is not an in-depth breakdown. But anyways, I think Chiasson's better than Yana Santos, okay? Yana Santos, guys, they both do the same thing. Chiasson can wrestle some. I really don't think Chiasson's going to wrestle here. They both kind of do the same thing. They both just kickbox. And yes, Chiasson, she can jump into her bag of tricks in terms of grappling. Yeah, it is there. It's in her back pocket. But for the most part, we're going to see a striking game out of Macy Chiasson. That's where she's going to want to fight. Santos, same thing. I trust in Macy Chiasson at this point more than a 35-year-old Yana Santos. Chiasson's 34. Oh, my goodness. But a post-childbirth Yana Santos. And also, Chiasson is... I find it hard to believe, that Yana Santos is 5'6" and Chiasson's 5'11". I can believe Chiasson's 5'11". Yana Santos is really supposed to be 5'6"? Okay, To me, I kind of take Yana Santos as like a 5'9", 5'10" fighter. I don't think Chiasson's gonna be 5 inches taller than her. I know she's a 145 or kind of coming out for 135, even though, as a famous woman once said, Juliana Pena, all featherweights are fat bantamweights who don't want to make weight, don't want to cut weight. Now, she said it, not me. But I find it really hard to believe Chiasson's 5 inches taller than Yana Santos. Maybe she will be. I'll be damned if Santos wins this one. I think Chiasson's got a better striking game, and she should be able to out-kickbox her way to victory here. Don't bet on it, though. It's a women's MMA fight, and you can't rely on Chiasson. I'm taking Macy, though, to win the fight by unanimous decision over Yana Santos. On to our next fight. This is a banger. It's a scrap. In the featherweight division, Daniel Santos takes on Ju Sang-yu, Zombie Jr. In your head, Zombie. This is fun. This is a scrap. This is what makes pay-per-view undercards great. This and the featured prelim. We know who's going to win the featured prelim, but violence. I can get excited for this. I can get really pumped for this. Daniel Santos, Ju Sang-yu is a good fight, right? Santos in the UFC is a 3-1 fighter. Lost his UFC debut back at UFC 273, which was actually headlined by the Korean Zombie. Lost to Julio Arce. But beats John Castaneda, beats Johnny Munoz, and beats Jeong Young Lee. He's had a million cancellations, but that's neither here or there. And now he's fighting Ju Sang-yu. Does Daniel Santos just have something against Koreans? I know it's a crazy thing to say, but hear me out here. Why has he been booked against 3 straight Koreans? He beats Jeong Young Lee. He's supposed to fight Doo-Hoo Choi. Fight falls through. And then Ju Sang-yu. What is this about? Why does he only fight Koreans? And it's not like these fights are in Asia. No. These fights have been in Canada, Australia, and Las Vegas. Is that not crazy? Anyways. Daniel Santos is 3-1 in the UFC, right? Last fight beats Jeong Young Lee, goes out there and puts on the wrestling boots, outstrikes Young Lee, looks good, right? Goes out there, picks up a 30-27 victory. No real controversy there, just like in the Johnny Munoz fight. Goes out there and does it all against Munoz as well. Has a very fun fight against John Castaneda where he knees him. He gets a knee in the clinch for a knockout victory. He's 3-1 in the promotion. But Ju Sang-yu is the future of Korean MMA. Now, the Koreans have a bunch of up-and-comers, don't get me wrong. This is their guy. He is 31, so it's like when Mike Malott really got going as a prospect. We're like, oh, okay, this guy he might be legit before he ran into Neil Magny, who just beat Jake Matthews. But anyways, Ju Sang-yu is like the next up-and-coming Korean guy, even though he's 31 years of age, about to turn 32 at the end of the year. Why is he the next up-and-coming Korean guy? He's mentored by Korean Zombie. That's kind of why. He's Zombie Jr. is the nickname. Am I going to drink the Kool-Aid here? 100%. Come on now. We're taking Zombie Jr. And yes, this is only victory Jekka Sarek. It is. Jekka, very bad UFC fighter. No disrespect, but come on now. You lost to Weston Wilson. Like, dog. You give me you give me a 3-month training camp. I beat Weston Wilson, okay? I just gotta learn some jiu-jitsu. I know some jiu-jitsu, but like as long as I can stay out of a triangle choke, like I'd probably beat Weston Wilson. I don't know. I'd shoot on Weston Wilson. I'm just kidding. I don't think I could beat Weston Wilson. Maybe, probably not. I wouldn't. I just want to make it very clear when I say I can beat like crappy UFC heavyweights, I'm joking, obviously. Like I don't think I can beat Shamil. Actually, nobody can beat Shamil Gaziev. I don't think I can beat Marcin Tybura. Like I'm joking when I say stuff like that. Just because I've seen comments thinking that. I've seen comments of people actually thinking that I believe that stuff. I'm joking when I say that. I'm not about Weston Wilson though. Just kidding. Ju Sang-yu though beats a guy who lost to Weston Wilson, but now we have hype on him. I don't care. He knocked out Jekka in 28 seconds. I'm buying in. All right. Hands of steel. He can knock you out. Daniel Santos gets hit. He does. And we're going to test the grappling game of Ju Sang-yu today on Saturday because Santos is going to shoot. I can almost guarantee you he's going to shoot. If you can stuff the takedowns, we're in a good spot. That's the simplest way I can put it. I like you striking. I know we've only seen you in the UFC for 28 seconds, but everything in the regionals too, outside of the UFC, over in Zombie Fight League. That's again, Sandhagen's promotion. With Insu Huang main eventing cards, we told you on the Contender Series was not good. Shout out to our Contender Series predictions. Great tape breakdown, in my opinion. Of course, I'm the one doing it. But anyways, I like we've got an out Ju Sang Yu. I think he beats Daniel Santos. Daniel Santos gets hit quite a bit, and if he's not able to get that takedown, if he's not able to wrestle, I think it's a problem for him. So I'm gonna go with Zombie Jr. Give me Ju Sang Yu. We're buying in here. We're going Ju Sang Yu, first round knockout victory over Daniel Santos. He'll get it done early, giving us our second finish on this card as we move on to a fight where I can almost guarantee there's going to be no finish here. Bantamweight division, Chris Gutierrez versus Farid Basharat. All right, timer set. All right, 15 minutes. Here we go. Now, this is like one of these fights, no, I'm not going to go that far. I will. This is like one of these fights back in the old days in the UFC when there's no time limit and you got like that, 90-minute fight between Shamrock and Gracie. I'm pretty sure that happened. Like, this fight would just go 90 minutes. It probably wouldn't because Gutierrez would eventually probably finish the guy. But who knows on the feet if Gutierrez could get back up. I don't know. Farid Basharat's not losing to Chris Gutierrez. Guys, it's a shame what we wasted the end of Frankie Edgar's career on. It's a shame. Because it's not Gutierrez's fault. It's really not. It's not Gutierrez's fault at all. It's just what has happened since, Gutierrez beats Frankie Edgar, right? And then he fights Pedro Muniz in his next fight. And I remember, quick side note, but this is what the career of Frankie Edgar meant to me, guys. Frankie Edgar was a legend. He is a legend, and he's a guy that I grew up on. I loved watching Frankie Edgar fight. I grew up on the Gray Maynard fights, the draw that he had originally, and when Edgar gets his win back. Like I grew up on watching Frankie Edgar fighting, and so when I watched Frankie Edgar get knocked out by Gutierrez, it was sad. I mean, it was worse than when Edgar got knocked out by Sandhagen. When I saw Gutierrez knock him out, I was like, all right, it is what it is. Like, it's the end of his run. It's in MSG. It sucks. It is what it is. It was brutal. I was very sad about it. But I was like, you know what? At least Gutierrez is going to be somewhat of a star, right? He's going to be a guy who, hey, they're going to give him Pedro Muniz, sure. Legend killer run. Muniz on the same level as Edgar. Edgar actually beat Muniz at the end of his career. But anyways, right, like at least we're going to give him guys like, all right, we're going to really establish him and he's going to eventually, we're going to get a payoff to all of this. Great, awesome. So I remember when I was getting ready, I was actually making my video for back on the Greedo Plays channel for the UFC Kansas City predictions. It was Arnold Allen and Max Holloway in the main event. And Gutierrez is fighting Pedro Muniz. And again, I'm still like, I'm pissed off because Edgar, I grew up watching Frankie. I love the guy. And I make my video, I make my graphics and whatnot. And Gutierrez pops up on the screen. And I had someone else in the room with me when I was making the graphics. And, knows nothing about mixed martial arts. And sees a picture of Cruz Gutierrez on Tapology. His picture is still there. And says, damn, that dude looks zesty. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, well, I'm trying to explain, no, this is the guy who beat one of the fighters I grew up on. And then I hear one of your fighters that one of your childhood fighters that you really liked lost to this zesty guy. I'm like, it's just that's Chris Gutierrez. His picture's still up on Tapology. It does look a little zesty, I'm not gonna lie. Now he doesn't. If you look at Gutierrez now, he doesn't. Anyways, that's why I don't like Chris Gutierrez. Because that's the first thing that enters my mind when I think about Chris Gutierrez. He got knocked out by Frankie Edgar, and he's perceived as zesty. Anyways, he loses to Pedro Muniz after he beats Edgar. We wasted it. I mean, brother, we shouldn't given Edgar Ryan Hall for his final fight, and could have been happy. But no, Gutierrez knock him out with the knee, bang up the middle. Yes, that would have required Edgar to move up a weight, but I whatever. So Gutierrez since beats Altang Ali, loses to Song Yadong. He actually does get the payoff in a main event, and he lost to Song Yadong. It wasn't even in China, it was in Vegas. And then he beats Kwang Lee and beats John Castaneda by split decision. Okay, yeah, Farid Basharat's going to dominate this guy. I know Gutierrez's takedown defense is really good. Okay, well here's an Afghani who's going to go out there and just straight wrestle you the entire fight. I mean, that's just what Basharat does, and he's very good at it, right? I mean, that's just how he fights. Afghanistan fighter, or an Afghani fighter, now training out of, I believe he cross trains. I think he's ATT. I don't know why I thought he was Extreme. Is he not Extreme Couture? He's either Extreme Couture or ATT. He's one of the two. He might train at both, I believe. But anyways, it's what he does. He goes up there and he grapples you. He's going to wrestle you. He's going to get a hold of you, and he's probably going to sub you. But I don't think he's going to sub Gutierrez, because he actually only subbed one guy in the UFC, and it's Clinton Rodriguez. I'm taking Farid Basharat to win the fight by unanimous decision. I expect a lot of wrestling. I don't think Gutierrez is an answer. His leg kicks are nice. They are, and he does throw out some power, but Farid Basharat is the better Basharat brother. He's the Basharat who hasn't lost yet, and he's the Basharat who hasn't lost to Ariel Helwani and hasn't lost to Ricky Simone in back-to-back fights. Give me Farid Basharat. He's the better of the two. Farid beats Chris Gutierrez by decision. We move on now to our penultimate prelim. Edmund Shahbazyan taking on Andrea Muniz. Oh, Edmund Shahbazyan, what are we going to do with you? Still around is the golden boy, Edmund Shahbazyan. He's definitely nowhere near the golden boy anymore. I remember when his hype was through the roof. But Shahbazyan's won back-to-back. He beats Andre Petroski, which at the time I was surprised about, but now I'm not. I just watched Andre Petroski lose in the first round and get knocked out by Cam Rouston in Australia. I'm like, all right, beating Petroski in 2025 isn't a big deal. It's not the Andre Petroski anymore. I don't think anyone was ever hyping up Petroski like that. But the UFC's done a good job matchmaking Shahbazyan because they've realized, okay, this is not a very high-level guy. He's a guy that we can keep on the prelims. He's a no-name because, Ed Movement. Like, he used to be from the Rousey camp, right? Now I believe he's Extreme Couture now. I know he's not definitely with the Rousey camp anymore, or the former Rousey camp. But, we were high on the guy at one point in time. He didn't really turn out, but he can win on prelims. So they've done a good job of matchmaking him, right? They've given him AJ Dobson, Dulce Lugiambula, Dylan Budka, but when he fights any step up, he loses. Derek Brunson, Jack Hermanson, Imavov, Hernandez. I know those two guys are at the top of the weight class now. And obviously, GM3, he's inevitable. Gerald Mearshart. We know Shahbazyan's role in the UFC, though, at this point, is what I'm getting at. We know what he is. He's taken on Andrea Muniz, who is 6-3 in the promotion, coming off a knockout loss in the first round to Ikram Alaskarov that we all saw coming. He's now lost 3 of his last 4 after picking up his biggest win in his UFC career, a decision win over Uriah Hall. Got booked against Brendan Allen in a main event in the UFC Apex. He actually got subbed and choked out by Brendan Allen before getting TKO'd in a main event by Paul Craig. No, sorry, that was not a main event. Paul Craig main evented against somebody else in the Apex. It was Brendan Allen. Anyways, he got TKO'd by Paul Craig, beats the Iron Turtle, Jun Young Park, in a fight where he did 0 damage. Did not do a damn thing, but in all fairness, Jun Young Park doesn't really do any damage either. So it's just one of those boring, non-fighting fights that, Muniz just gets. Muniz's last fight, though, gets knocked out in the first round. Shahbazyan, his grappling is pretty bad, and that's why I thought Petroski was going to beat him. But what I realized watching that fight, I said, okay, Shahbazyan he knows how to beat basic stuff, and Petroski couldn't set up his takedowns with anything because he wasn't having any success in the striking range. He was just like, you know what, I'm just going to shoot, and he couldn't get anything going. And that's when Shahbazyan knocked him out. And we've seen now, after the Rouston fight yesterday, Petroski's not very good in 2025. Andrea Muniz is not very good in 2025. Shahbazyan's knocking him out. Okay? Edmund's going to knock this dude out in the first round. Muniz is not able to get a takedown. What does he do? He's stuck. That's what it is. I mean, that's the simplest way I can put this fight for you. Shahbazyan will find that power shot. And, guys, Muniz is 35 and he's getting worse. He's regressing, obviously. He's 35 years of age. He got knocked down in the first round against Ikram Alaskarov. And this fight, to me, screams, okay, we're just throwing him out to the wolves. We're done with Muniz. We don't care about Muniz. We need Muniz out. So, all right, Shahbazyan, go out there and beat him and get rid of him for us. Give us a reason to cut him. That's exactly what Edmund's going to do here. Again, am I completely sold on Shahbazyan as a fighter in 2025? I'm not. Are we forgetting, though, too? This guy's only 27, and now he's put together back-to-back victories. If he beats Muniz, now we do need to talk about, again, okay, let's get Shahbazyan somewhat of another name fight. Let's give him the loser of Joe Pyfer, Abus Magomedov. We can just, it writes itself. And we can see, okay, is this guy really ready again for another top 15 test? If not, go back to fighting contender, guys. Go fight Cam Rouston then. There, I just match made everything for you. Or, Shahbazyan first round knockout. Give him a Tiba Gutierrez. Oh no. Oh no. Guys, I called this one a long time ago. I mean, I have been on this Atiba Gutierrez hype train, all right? I am the damn conductor of the hype train, okay? I mean, I've been on the Gutierrez hype for a while. I called it when he beat Naito on the Contender. Like I said, he was going to win that fight in a fight that I believe had close to even odds, if I'm not mistaken, last year. Atiba Gutierrez was an underdog against Naito on the Contender Series. And we took Gutierrez because I saw at the time, I was like, all right, I'm just watching these two guys fight. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. No way that dude loses to that dude. Obviously, Gutierrez was that guy. So I called it then. When he won that fight, or when he's going to get that fight, or when he got the Contender Series fight, I called it then. And then we've seen it since. Knockout win over Jose Medina. Great chin, got cracked. Robert Valentin, first round knockout. Guys, Atiba Gutierrez is going to be in the top 10 this time in 2 years. Atiba Gutierrez, ooh, do I want to say he's going to win UFC gold? I think he's going to. I believe Atiba Gutierrez is going to win the light heavyweight championship eventually. He's a middleweight now. He's 23, at least they say he's 23. You know the whole theory, like, is Ngannou really his age, or is he a lot older? I don't know. Like, guys, this picture of Gutierrez was supposedly taken when he was 22, because he's 23 now. Guys, I'll be honest with you. Does that look like a 22-year-old? I can see it. It's just, he looks to me like he's like 26. That's fine. But if he is 22, which sure, let's say he is, he's going to need to go to light heavyweight eventually. He's 6'4" at 185 pounds. I mean, that's just difficult to make. It is. I mean, he's done it so far. He weighed in at exactly 185 for the Valentin fight, but we'll see. Regardless, I'm all aboard the hype train. Like, I've been trying to tell people about it, get Atiba Gutierrez. Anybody who will listen, Atiba Gutierrez is legit. He's got crazy hands, and it's not just because he's from Cameroon. He is the light heavyweight version, the middleweight version now of Francis Ngannou. He knocks people out stiff. It's what he does. Every single fight he has had has resulted in a knockout so far under the Zuffa banner. I'm sold. And, he stuffs takedowns too. I know it was just that one fight in the Contender against Naito, and I took us 1 for 11 on takedowns in that fight. So it's not like you can just switch things up against this guy, and he hits like a damn truck. Get him in America now, training. I think he's still training in Cameroon, but you get him the resources at the PI, he's dangerous. He's taking on Ozzy Diaz. Ozzy Diaz is a 6'4" middleweight too. This feels like they're throwing him out to the wolves, though. He won his last fight against Jordan Santos. All right, hell yeah, dude. Beats Jordan Santos by decision. They're giving Jordan Santos Danny Barlow. Wow, yeah, they want to get rid of that guy too. But Diaz wins that fight. It's a back and forth fight that Joe Rogan was just enamored with. Wow, look at Ozzy Diaz. Wow, what a performance. You do not want to be there with Ozzy Diaz striking at the end of the fight. He's still going. I'd like to see more of this Ozzy Diaz. Good on him. But look at the Ming Yang Jung fight. He gets knocked out in the first round. He found the Contender out. Yeah, he was a sacrificial lamb to Joe Pyfer. He's a sacrificial lamb to Atiba Gutierrez. Chin can be cracked. Oh, by the way, Diaz lost 3 times. They're all by knockout. And also, his chin's not that good. And he takes too many punches. Again, Jordan Santos hit him with 131 significant strikes. Yeah, you take 31 significant strikes from Atiba Gutierrez, you go to the ground. I'm taking Atiba Gutierrez to beat Ozzy Diaz in the very first round. He is a close to minus 1,000 favorite. This line keeps on moving towards the direction of Atiba Gutierrez to the point where people are actually betting minus 850 because he's that big of a favorite and he should win the bout. I'm telling you. The dude is legit. There's a reason to, and the UFC's seeing it now. They're seeing it. There's a reason they're putting him on, featured prelims for a big card with Alex Pereira in the main event. Can't say I didn't tell you so. Atiba Gutierrez knocks out Ozzy Diaz in the first round. We move on now to our main card opener. Oh, it's Joe Pyfer. Oh, wow. W hair transplant. It's funny that moment that question the interview asked him about Turkey, and but he got a little butthurt about it. It's okay. It's fine. You know, like, I hope I'm never in that situation. Who knows? Not up to me. I can't control it. So I'm not going at the guy for going to Turkey. It's just I found it really funny, his response to that. Anyways, main card opener, Joe Pyfer takes on Abus Magomedov. The Joe Pyfer experiment has been something, right? Another guy who's been very protected by the UFC, a guy that has been put in big spots because of a Dana White rant. He's the only guy that got a contract. Oh, be like Joe Pyfer, you know? Cool. Even though multiple fighters on that, I think this gets forgotten, multiple fighters on that be like Joe Pyfer card. Actually, every winner on that card ended up in the UFC. The one where Dana got so mad that nobody got a finish. Yeah. Alessandro Costa ended up in the UFC. Dennis Bazookia ended up in the UFC. The Pleasure Man, Anton Turkalagi, ended up in the UFC. And also, Farid Basharat, who was supposed to be on that card, ended up on the UFC too. Ended up in the UFC. It's hilarious what happened. Like, Dana got so mad about how horrible that card was, and they all got put in the UFC eventually. Who did Joe Pyfer knock out on that Contender Series episode? Yeah, Ozzy Diaz. But the UFC has been so easy with the matchmaking for Pyfer. They gave him, right after Alan Amadovsky, Mearshart. He passed the Mearshart test, great. Abdurazak Al-Hassan was a good victory. And then boom, he gets fraud checked by Jack Hermanson in the main event. Hermanson doesn't show up for another year and a half after. And then he got knocked out. It is returned by RoboCop. And then Pyfer comes back, beats Marc-Andre Betio, and knocks out Marc-Andre Betio and beats up on fat Kelvin Gastelum. I don't care. Cool. He last fought on UFC 316 with that Dvalishvili O'Malley card. Same night again where Marab fought. Patchy Mix last fought. Great. He's taking on Abus Magomedov. This is a test. It is. I mean, guys, Abus has won 3 fights in a row. Beats Warlley Alves, beats Bruno Ferreira, beats Michel Pereira. Not a lot of people thought he was going to beat Michel Pereira. I saw that one right away, and we picked Abus to win because I don't think Abus gets the respect that he really deserves. Abus is solid. And guys, there's a pathway Abus can win this bout. I think he's going to bring it to Pyfer on the feet. I don't know if he's good enough to beat Pyfer, but I don't know, man. Magomedov's good. His only losses in the UFC are Sean Strickland and Cairo Borjaio. His wins aren't the best. Dustin Stolfsus, Warlley Alves, Bruno Ferreira, and Michel Pereira, but, I mean, you could argue the Michel Pereira victory, actually, it's not better than is it better than Pyfer's wins? Because Pereira just got knocked out by Kyle Dawkins. Anyways, though, there's a chance Abus can win. And I'm very split on this pick to the point where I wouldn't bet it if you're remotely thinking about betting on Joe Pyfer or including Pyfer in a parlay. I would not do it because there is a definite chance Abus Magomedov can definitely go out here and win the bout. Because Abus can wrestle. This gets forgotten about Abus, right? He's born in Dagestan, goes to Dusseldorf, Germany as a pretty young, I think young teenager, maybe even younger than that. I did a short film on Abus Magomedov at one point in time. So he's got the Dagestani background of wrestling, and he also kickboxed too, like Nasser Nurmagomedov. It's just, he's 35 now, but he has looked good. But Pyfer is so protected with the UFC, and they try to put Pyfer in situations to win. Abus's cardio has looked better, though. I mean, we were concerned about his gas tank in the Strickland fight, but I guess you can't say that Pereira won the 3rd round against Abus, even though I thought Abus did, but I think you make the case Michel Pereira might have won the 3rd. Decisions. I'm going to go Joe Pyfer. But what if Abus wrestles? Like, I don't think Pyfer's ready for that, even though Pyfer's takedown defense isn't bad. Okay. Hesitantly, I'm going Joe Pyfer decision. I don't think there's a finish here. I'm going Joe Pyfer decision. To me, I am going to think about who does the UFC want to win. Abus doesn't fit the Dagestani agenda. He's got the German flag. Nope, don't care about you. Nope. Pyfer's our guy. Be like Joe Pyfer. Dana loves him. Give me Joe Pyfer. Like, think about the favorable match. If the UFC was to make a favorable matchup in either direction here, who's the favorable matchup going towards? Pyfer. When I look at the fight, like just from a fight standpoint, I think striking-wise they're really close. I think Abus has a lot of power that people just don't see. I think wrestling-wise Abus is good too. I just think, again, Abus at 35 versus a 29-year-old Pyfer who's only growing with confidence now after the back-to-back victories over Barrio where he knocked him out, and then a dominant 3-round decision over Kelvin Gastelum where he knocked him down twice. I think that's going to do loads for him, and I think he's going to be slightly better than Abus Magomedov. Also, as the fight goes on, I don't know what Magomedov is going to be. I think first round's actually won by Abus Magomedov, which should make Joe Pyfer really playable, at least on the odds going into the second. Ultimately, though, I do believe that Pyfer is going to win. It's going to be Joe Pyfer to beat Abus Magomedov by unanimous decision. On to our next fight in the featherweight division, a ranked fight. Actually, Abus was ranked in the last bout, but here we go. Josh Emmett takes on Youssef Zalal in the featherweight division. Zalal finds himself as a huge favorite against Emmett, minus 390 here for the Moroccan, taking on Sacramento, California's Josh Emmett. It's extremely difficult to pick Emmett because he's 40 years old and about to be 41. He's closer to 41 than he is 40. Right off the bat, right there again, it makes it very difficult to take Emmett because of the age. And because of the fact that he's lost his last fight. And was he somewhat competitive with Leron Murphy? Yeah, he was. I mean, I think he won one round. I think two judges had him winning two. Personally, I thought he only won one, but that's neither here or there. He was competitive. He was very competitive. But you could tell Murphy's the better fighter, and Murphy's, in all likeliness, getting the title shot against Alexander Volkanovski in December, which leaves Diego Lopez, Aljamain Sterling. Okay, let's go, Aljo. Yeah, all right, let's take this guy down, hopefully. I don't know, I hope. Anyways, could we just push Aljo to the title fight instead and just make Leron fight Lopez, maybe? I don't know. Or Aljo Evloev rematch? I wouldn't mind that either. Anyways, Josh Emmett's somewhat competitive against Leron Murphy, but how many 5-round fights and how many wars can you be in at 40 and continue just to... And what is the motivation to? I mean, this is the thing that multiple fighters have talked about. Like, I've heard Chael talk about this, DC talk about it. Not about Emmett specifically, but, okay, you're at an age where you're so old and you lose a big fight. And obviously, Emmett didn't lose a fight to the capacity and to the, obviously how high of a level. The Emmett-Leron Murphy fight was big because Emmett was a fight away from the belt if he could have beat Murphy. But anyways, right, he didn't lose a fight like Chael did to Lyoto Machida and Bellator where if he had won, he'd get a title shot. Right? He didn't lose a fight like DC did to Stipe Miocic the third time around. He knew he couldn't get a title shot either, right? But both those guys have said before in DC and Chael, where's your head at? And your head's just not in a good place after you lose a fight like that. Because where's your motivation at? Yeah, I just lost a big fight, and this is why ultimately those two guys retired. But I lost a big fight. I don't really think I can do this again. And now it's not, okay, I have to win one fight to get a title shot. I have to win 2 fights to get a title shot. Emmett's got to win 3. You got to win 3 fights at 40 years of age, and by the time you get through those 3 fights, you're going to be 42. What's the motivation now coming back and having to beat another young guy in Youssef Zalal, a younger guy who's 29 years of age, who, oh, by the way, is on a huge winning streak and stylistically offers a very difficult challenge to you? A guy who's going to pepper you at shots in the outside, a guy who can grapple and definitely has that, but a guy who's not going to take many chances, not going to really engage in a Josh Emmett style of fight where he can swing big. No, Zalal's going to stay on the outside and approach this fight like he did against Calvin Kattar. Take 0 chances and pepper Josh Emmett with strikes for 15 minutes. Is it entertaining? No. This fight's going to be not great. Dana's going to hate it, and this entire fight's going to be Josh Emmett walking around the octagon, looking, can't get it. Can I get in the range? No. Okay. I reenacted the entire fight for you, and it's gonna be Zalal on the outside. It's just gonna be jab. No, can't get in the range. Jab. Can't get in the range. Jab. Stay on the outside. Jab. That's what this fight's gonna be. It is. Will Zalal shoot on Emmett? I don't think so. I actually don't, because that's your biggest danger of getting knocked out, is if you close distance and try to shoot, boom, big shot for Emmett up the middle. Big uppercut up the middle. Big knee up the middle. It doesn't really throw the most knees, but right, anything up the middle. I think maybe Zalal tries to clinch, but not really. Guys, but that's part of Zalal's game, right? It's I'm gonna pressure you, I'm going to force you into situations, and then I'm just gonna strike on the outside because I don't really want to grapple, but I have to present like I'm going to. I think Emmett's gonna have problems chasing Youssef Zalal here. Because that's what's gonna happen. Zalal is going to be peppering him with shots, and Emmett won't have much offense to show. It's going to be a boring bout that Youssef Zalal is going to win, and he's going to take it by decision. The UFC wants Emmett to win. The crowd is going to want Emmett to win because they want to see the big knockout on this big card. Unfortunately for the fans and for the promotion and for Dana, this is going to be a Youssef Zalal pepper fest where he wins the fight by unanimous decision. Taking Youssef Zalal to get it done. I don't think he's going to take many chances. I don't think we even see this fight hit the mat that often. I think Zalal just wins a striking battle because, again, if Emmett's not able to find that big shot, Zalal will win with volume. This entire fight will be about Josh Emmett trying to find that one big power shot that I just don't think he's able to get. Yusuf Zalal is on a huge winning streak to win this fight by unanimous decision. We move on now to our featured fight of the night, a good one in the light heavyweight division. It was a fight that was announced initially. When this card was announced, we had 3 fights. Pereira Ankalaev 2, Merab Sandhagen, and Prochazka versus Rountree. Potentially, this could give us the #1 contender for the light heavyweight championship. There is belief that if it's Magomed and Ankalaev walking away with the belt at the end of the night, the winner of this fight will find themselves against Magomed. I don't think so. I think it's going to Oberg. I fully expect to go to Oberg. Regardless of who wins between Ankalaev and Pereira, yeah, have fun. You're going to Australia to fight Oberg in the next Australian pay-per-view. Have fun with that. The UFC has been waiting to have an Australian champion fight in Australia because they haven't had it. They've had to go into Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland to have to fight in Australia. Oh, Adesanya, he's from New Zealand, okay? They've been waiting. Oberg is too. I'm joking on that. But they've been waiting to the point where they've had 3 pay-per-views in Australia over the last 3 years. 2 of them have been headlined by Dricus and Sean Strickland. All 3 of them have. Yes, Adesanya's been there too. But they've been waiting for someone other than Izzy to get there. Because, okay, Adesanya is a gimme. He's going to sell anywhere. We don't need to take Adesanya to Australia to sell pay-per-views. We can sell with Carlos Oberg here more than we can any other place in the world. So that's my point with that. They are not going to squander the opportunity to get a homegrown Australian, New Zealand guy and put him in Australia. Where, by the way, you can have Izzy co-main. That's something. Adesanya Strickland co-main for the winner of Ankalaev Pereira versus Oberg. I can almost guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Or Oberg's going to have to go to Abu Dhabi if it's Ankalaev. Anyways, I don't think the winner of this fight's getting a title shot. Don't see it. How? Prochazka's had 2 shots. He's lost both. Rountree got a shot undeservedly, and he lost. How interested in a Khalil Rountree Magomed Ankalaev fight are you? I'm not. I can tell you how that fight goes. Ankalaev completely mauls him on the ground. Rountree Prochazka this weekend. Prochazka quietly is putting together such a good run in the UFC. His only loss to Pereira. Rountree is coming off the same exact last win. They both just beat Jamal Hill. Now, Prochazka finished Hill. Rountree dominated Hill for 25 minutes in Azerbaijan. But both are coming off Jamal Hill victories. Both guys have just lost it to Alex Pereira as well. And it should go to show the dominance and the greatness of Pereira and the reign that he had. Now, can he get back at that? I don't know. Just give me like 15 minutes here, 10 minutes. We'll be talking about it. But when I look at a Prochazka Rountree fight, I think Prochazka should win. Guys, I think Yuri beats pretty much everybody but the 2 guys in the title fight tonight. I think so. I think he beats Oberg. I don't think Oberg's that good. I'll say right now, both Ankalaev, Pereira, and Prochazka beat Oberg. Does Rountree? I don't think so. I think Oberg beats Rountree. But out of the 3 of the 4 guys in this equation on Saturday, 3 of them beat Carlos Oberg. Oberg beat Dominic Reyes. I thought Dominic Reyes was going to win. I didn't realize, Dominic Reyes was just not going to throw a strike. It was just going to be completely gun shy and just, It sucks, because I wanted Dominic Reyes to get a title shot. I was all here for it, man. And here we go, right? That was the ultimate redemption story, and he got knocked out. He didn't even throw a strike. It's awesome. Yuri should beat Rountree, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't. Guys, Yuri, I don't know if he hits harder, but Yuri's striking game to me is just better than Khalil's. Yeah, Khalil, he's got, he's all around great kickboxing. You look at the Jamal Hill fight, it's domination. Sure, it is. It is. Never in really a hurry to finish the fight, though. He drops Hill twice. Once on record, twice he did, though, it felt like. Or, if you're watching, he really dropped him twice. Doesn't do anything to follow up with it. Kind of just, I'm sitting back, or I'm not going to take any chances. Bang, 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 bang. All right. Proch is going to fight that fight with you, and Proch is going to force you to fight that fight. I think when Yuri's advancing forward, it's difficult for Rountree. Yes, has Khalil's run been good? It has. Guys, look at the guys he's beaten, though. Dustin Jacoby, Chris Dawkins, Anthony Smith, and Jamal Hill. Look at Yuri's run. Uzdemir, Reyes, Teixeira, Pereira, Rakic, Pereira, Hill. Obviously lost both to Pereira, but that's his run. That's his run compared to Khalil Rountree's. Rountree lost to Pereira. Sure, he took him into the 4th round. That's really, guys, Rountree's claim to fame right now is that, I took Pereira into the 4th. And, Yuri couldn't get out the 2nd both times. Sure, Yuri's a better fighter. Yuri's going to push the pace. Yuri's going to present angles to Rountree, which I think is going to make it very difficult on Khalil. And it's just a very rough fight, in my opinion, for Khalil Rountree because of what Yuri offers and the fact that he's always going forward. And the fact that he does throw so hard, he throws it from weird spots. I'm throwing a hook from right here, bam. I'm, hands are down, bang, jab. It's a difficult fight to really figure out, I think. And the way I see it, too, again, with Yuri, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but he beats everybody but Ankalaev and Pereira. Everybody else he goes through. I'm taking Yuri Prochazka to beat Khalil Rountree. Can he finish Khalil Rountree? He can. I'm going to go 2nd or 3rd. I wish this was 5 rounds. 2nd round knockout for Yuri Prochazka. He will do away with Khalil Rountree Jr. He'll get it done in the 2nd round. From the fighter from the Czech Republic. By the way, too, Khalil's 35. Khalil's 35 years of age. Is he still on the roids? I don't know. Again, don't forget, he got popped for steroids. And they said, you know what? You got popped for roids? Who cares? Go fight Pereira anyway. Come on now. I'm taking Yuri Prochazka to finish Khalil Rountree Jr. in the 2nd round via the KO. On now to our co-main event of the evening for the Bantamweight Championship of the World. The champion from Georgia, Merab Dvalishvili, as he takes on Corey Sandhagen. Merab, man, what a run. What a run Merab Dvalishvili's on right now. It's crazy that, he's been main eventing cards. He main evented against O'Malley twice, and here he is as a co-main event. But yeah, can you really sell us on a Merab Dvalishvili, Corey Sandhagen main event? Probably not. Nothing against Merab. It's just a lot of people think we think we know how this fight's going to end up. Unfortunately, but I think we all know how this one's going to go. The one thing, I'm just going to get out of the way right now, because this is what the Sandhagen backers and the Sandhagen fans, if there are Sandhagen fans, I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying I've never seen a huge Corey Sandhagen fan. But the people who are backing Sandhagen, this is his one claim in this fight, is that Corey's jiu-jitsu is good. And Corey, obviously, on the feet is going to be good enough. And Merab's striking has never been the best, even though I will get into his last fight in a second. Grappling-wise, Sandhagen is going to be a lot better than O'Malley. He's going to be able to throw stuff up off his back, and he's very technically sound grappling-wise. And he just finished Davison Figueiredo on the ground, even though it was an injury to Figueiredo, but partially that was the sweep that Sandhagen had put on. Okay. My counter to that is, you can have great jiu-jitsu, but Sandhagen's jiu-jitsu is not good enough. You need really good jiu-jitsu to beat Merab because of the pressure and because of the style that he fights. Because you're looking for more than just, I need to get up. You need to really sweep the guy and keep him off of you the entire fight. So you need more than just grappling. Yeah, jiu-jitsu is going to work. It's great. You need to stuff the guy's takedowns. That's the problem. Because, so what Sandhagen sweeps him? So what Sandhagen gets back up to his feet? This guy shot 50 takedowns in one fight. He doesn't get tired. So, you get back up. Okay, go stuff 5 more. I mean, I'm not taking Sandhagen lightly if I'm Merab, and I'm not even as a Merab fan, I'm not taking Sandhagen lightly, but I think we know how this is going to go. And also, Merab's finishing guys now. He subs O'Malley, and we knew how that fight was going to go too. It was a very unwarranted rematch. It was just, Dana, we love Sean, and have another title fight. At the same time, too, guys, look at Merab's striking in that fight. Is it not from an MMA purist perspective? Is he technically sound? Is he look great in there striking? No, it gets the job done. It gets him into entry range. Guys, Merab Dvalishvili was up 2-0 on Sean O'Malley and won a 2nd round against O'Malley in a round where he didn't land a takedown. He outstruck O'Malley. And sure, yes, O'Malley's always you're worrying about the takedowns. The example I always use is Conor McGregor, Habib Nurmagomedov. It is the easiest example I could ever use. Is Habib a better striker than Conor? No. Habib knocked down Conor because Conor was worried about the takedown back in 2019. 2018, 2019. 2018, right? Was that 18 or 19? It was 18. Oh my goodness, that fight was so many years ago. Was it 18 or was it 19? No, it had to have been 18. Because 19 was the Poirier fight. Wow. Anyways. I'm like fairly certain that was 18. Had to have been 18. It was 18. My goodness. Oh, Conor's going to fight Chandler at the White House. That's really going to happen. Anyways. That's a problem for Sandhagen. Also, guys, Corey Sandhagen lost to Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, MMA math doesn't work like this. Oh, Merab beat Umar, Umar beat Corey, so that means Merab has to win this fight. But you can't beat Umar Nurmagomedov. How are you going to beat Merab? Because Merab's just a better version of Umar. We've seen that. Umar stays in the face of Sandhagen. He outstrikes Sandhagen and boringly outgrapples him too. I mean, Umar just does enough in every single round. Is it horrible? Is it boring? I wouldn't call it horrible. Is it boring? Yeah, but Umar does enough. Same thing here. Merab's just going to do that, but just 5 times better. Because Merab's going to push a pace. Merab will break you in there. And a lot's been made of, again, the grappling game out of Corey Sandhagen. That's awesome. He's not going to beat Merab Dvalishvili. Nobody beats Merab Dvalishvili. Oh, by the way, he doesn't get tired. I mean, that's the simplest way I can put it. He doesn't get tired. How are you going to beat a guy who is never tired there? You have to, and Sandhagen said this too. After Merab beat O'Malley and then called out Corey, Corey said it backstage after the fight. He said, and he was very blunt about it. You're not going to out-grapple the guy. You're not going to out-cardio the guy. Simply put, I got to knock him out. Guys, you cannot rely on a Corey Sandhagen knockout. I mean, guys, the only wins Sandhagen has by knockout is against 40-year-old Frankie Edgar, where he kneed him in the face, and the wheel kick on Moraes, but we knew where Moraes' chin was at, and what was the injury? Was it attached retina? No, it was something horrible in his face that was Sandhagen pointed at him. It might have been a retina, I don't know. But Sandhagen, I remember early in the fight, pointed at Marlon and said, oh, got him, like something's messed up, and then eventually clipped him over the top of the head with a wheel kick. Those are his only knockout victories in the UFC. Austin Arnett was a body shot, don't care, right? So Sandhagen saying that's the truth. That's the only way anybody's going to beat Merab. You have to knock him out. At least Merab right now at 34. Sandhagen's not knocking Merab out. The only way, and I think Sandhagen's going to look for it, I think he's going to try to catch Merab on the way in with the knee. If Merab's shooting, I think Sandhagen's going to fire that flying knee. Not flying, he's just going to fire a knee up the middle. We also need to remember, this guy's got an uncrackable chin. So how do you beat him? Again, my main concern for Merab is that Sandhagen finds a knee and puts him out. I highly doubt it happens. If not, it's going to be a Merab smothering of Corey Sandhagen. Merab Dvalishvili retains and still by unanimous decision. On to the main event. In the light heavyweight division, the champion, Magomed Ankalaev, has a minus 245 favorite defense against the plus 185 underdog, Alex Pereira. It's a shame. It is a damn shame what has happened to the sport. Pereira was the guy defending every 3 months. Biggest star in the sport. And then Ankalaev went out there, didn't do any damage except for one shot they did wobble Pereira with. But goes 0 for 11 on takedowns and still beats Pereira. 0 for 12 on takedowns. My goodness. I thought Pereira should have won watching the fight initially. Now, I'm not completely sold on Pereira winning. I thought he still probably should have gotten the nod. I don't know. Call me biased a little bit, sure. I thought when they read the scorecards, I thought Pereira won. 49, 46, 48, 47, 48, 47. I was like, wow, I gave it to Pereira. Nope. I don't know how you give a 4th round to Magomed. It is what it is. Guys, I don't know how you give Ankalaev the 5th round still. I don't know how you do it. It's a close round. Ankalaev wins the fight because he clinches with the guy and shoots takedowns. Okay, I'm going to get this out of the way right now because this is just how I feel about mixed martial arts. You should not get rewarded for just shooting 12 takedowns. If anything, Pereira should be rewarded for defending 12 takedowns. I mean, it's just, you're not doing damage. You're just shooting, holding on, and it takes a bunch of time, and obviously Pereira's got to shoot for an underhook. He's got to get out of there. He's got to turn it. You shouldn't get rewarded for putting your opponent in that situation. If you take him down, sure, awesome. You have a control time, great. Just holding a guy up against the fence doesn't really mean that to me, okay? The 2 rounds, Magomed wins, in my opinion, easily, obviously, are rounds 2 and 4. The 5th round is a swing round. 1 and 3 are Pereira rounds. That fight doesn't matter anymore. What does matter is the rematch now. Again, 5 months later, Pereira's back, but this is why that fight was so concerning. Because it was so close, because Magomed does hurt Pereira on the feet. It's closer than you think it should be on the feet. And, oh, by the way, yes, Pereira's always worrying about the takedown. Also, he's 38 now. How much more is left in Poatan? I will tell you what's left in a second. I don't think he's getting any better anymore, though. And Ankalaev is 33. He's in his prime. Pereira's run was spectacular. It was. I mean, it just, the span in which he did it, how he was knocking guys out, it's crazy. This is the one guy in the UFC knew, and I knew it too. It's just, you gotta keep Ankalaev away from him. Because all that hype that Pereira had and the big run that he had, it never happens if they book him and Ankalaev in his first title defense at UFC 300. There's a reason they kept Ankalaev away from him and had Ankalaev fight Johnny Walker and whatnot. They had him fight Rocket, and that's why they chose Khalil Rountree come fight Pereira, because we don't need Ankalaev. Because this is what happens. Ankalaev fights once every 8 months. Pereira saves the day and fights every 3 months. I hate to say it, the run's over. I hate that I have to do it. Magomed Ankalaev's winning this fight by decision. You will not find a happier person on the planet if Pereira knocks out Ankalaev in this fight. I will be desperately cheering for Poatan to win. I cannot bring myself to pick Pereira here. How does it get better from the first fight? When that fight ended with Pereira and Ankalaev, I thought Pereira won. I was like, you know what? I don't care. That's fine. He got by him. He needed to beat him once. He's never going to see him ever again. We have the heavyweight fight still intact. We have other light heavyweight fights. It's like, all right, we have Olberg coming up probably. Doesn't matter. There are guys that Pereira can go to next, and we don't have to see Ankalaev ever again. He got by in a boring decision, but you know what? Sometimes those happen. Ankalaev gets the nod, and everything changes. And I knew too. Again, the mindset I had was close fight, but we got by. At least that's what I thought. We got by, don't need to see that dude ever again. And I knew, again, Pereira's 38, gonna be 38, now he is. He's not gonna get much better anymore. He's only getting older. That was the end of the era. And unfortunately, Saturday is going to really show that. I hope Ankalaev doesn't land a bomb and knock him out. Because for as much as I go at Ankalaev and say, oh, he's not that entertaining, and, he'll clinch up with you, he does wobble Pereira in the second round of that initial fight. And sure, you give Magomed that round. He has a striking ability. You just don't always see it. I mean, he did knock out Johnny Walker. I know it's not that difficult to do. He knocked out Kutelaba back in 2020. He has the potential to do so. It's just you see a lot of, staying on the outside, kickboxing, kind of boring, but he, outpoints you and he'll clinch. He has the power to knock out Alex. And a lot is on this fight. They had their little run-in at the PI in Vegas where they're doing double translators on their phones and they're relaying stuff back and forth. There's bad blood here. I mean, it's the only guy Pereira's ever lost to in mixed martial arts other than Israel Adesanya. It's Magomed Ankalaev now. This is his next rivalry. If Pereira wins, I think it'll still be Olberg next, but they could just run the trilogy with Ankalaev. Unfortunately, I don't see how Pereira wins. I don't know how it gets better from that fight. And that was a fight that I thought Pereira could have won, but barely got by with. But he didn't win it. How is an older Alex Pereira, who is hanging out with Nina Drama more than he ever has, just how does he win? Guys, I don't know how much I should treat this. Guys, Alex Pereira is running like a Twitter poll, or like he's doing like giveaways or whatnot. He's making videos saying, oh, what shorts should I wear? Should I shave my head or not? Like, who is this guy? I'm not going to completely just go out Pereira. I love Pereira, but it doesn't feel like the same fight week for Alex Pereira. Maybe it's a show. Don't forget, like, remember when Merab was goofing off before his fights? He's, doing mariachi dances and whatnot, and he comes in, he's completely locked in. Maybe this whole an elaborate scheme of Pereira's picking up Nina Drama's foot and showing it to a camera. Like, really? I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to it. Because what this is the end of the Alex Pereira era. Will there be other fights? There will be. I can tell you what's next for Pereira. He's going up to heavyweight. He's going to have to. There's no other move. I mean, once middleweight, he didn't really get eliminated from middleweight. He could have came back. Never had the rematch against Adesanya, but that was a weight thing. Now it's I can't be the champion, so I got to go up. What is next for Alex Pereira? He will actually get a title eliminator. He will. He's going to get probably, in my opinion, I think he gets Sergey Pavlovich. I think he's going to. And if he can beat Pavlovich, I actually think he's going to get a title shot because they are going to be desperate to make either Pereira, Aspinall, Pereira, Jones. Or they might just do Pereira, Jones right away. Probably not. They'll probably give him Pavlovich to fight that. I'll be surprised if Pereira doesn't beat Pavlovich. He should win that fight. If the guy's not going to take him down, and it's an easier striking test than Sandhagen is. So they'll give him Pavlovich. He'll probably be able to win. And then, okay, boom, we can put him in a title shot. We can get one more big payday out of Pereira against either Aspinall or Jones. And then it's really over then. Or, they could do Derek Lewis and Pereira. I wouldn't mind that either. They should actually... He can win both those fights. Pay-per-view's way better on the Lewis fight, though. You could headline Pereira, Lewis. You actually could. That's a weak headliner, but you could headline that. Anyways, but again, like, what is the future? Okay, he beats Derek Lewis. He beats Sergey Pavlovich. Then he goes and fights for the belt against Jones or Aspinall. He loses, obviously. Right? Like, I think the next move for Pereira, I believe, is White House main card against either Lewis or Pavlovich. That's where I see him. And I don't think John Jones is going to be on that card. I don't think Aspinall is going to be on that card. I believe Connor's probably going to main event. Probably. I think Merab's probably going to be on that card too against probably Piotr Jan, I think. I think O'Malley's probably going to be buried on there too. They're going to have a lot of big fights. Colby's probably going to be there, I'd assume. Hopefully a winnable fight for Colby. But Pereira's days of being a champion are over. Why? Well, look how Ankalaev fought that last fight. Ankalaev, I think, is getting better at 33. I don't think Pereira is getting any better at 38, though. You stuffed every takedown. Yeah, great. How many... Guys, is Pereira really going to stuff all 12 takedowns again? Just be honest with ourselves. No, he's not. He's not. Like, that Pereira... Pereira in March is better now. Is better than Pereira now. Pereira's not getting better in 7 months. Because he's only getting older. He's 38 now. He's not going to stuff every takedown. His striking defense, whatever. Again, the pure striking out of Pereira is probably not going to go away, but now he's really concerned about the takedowns. And, okay, drop his hands, boom. Whatever happens, I cannot see Pereira get knocked out here. Because as long as he doesn't get knocked out, and say he loses a boring decision, okay, we can kind of get behind that heavyweight run. We can book him against Lewis, we can book him against Pavlovich, and we can put him right back in a title shot at 265. If Ankalaev finds a way to knock him out, we might not see Pereira ever again at 38. If he gets knocked out, we might not see him again. I think Pereira, his next move, even if he wins, I believe he's going to want to chase the heavyweight title. He will have to beat Carlos Ulberg first before he does that. If he does beat Magomed, I just don't see how he wins, unfortunately. I've been dreading to make this video. I've been dreading to make this official prediction for as much as I want to say, oh, Poatan first round knockout. I just can't. I want to. And if he wins, I'm still on the hype train. We'll be right back. We'll say, okay, Ulberg, you're next, right? Pereira wins. Ulberg's getting knocked down in the first round, right? If Ulberg and Pereira fight regardless, Pereira's knocking Ulberg out. It's the one guy I don't think he can beat. I hate it. And I want to see him at heavyweight. I want to see him beat Pavlovich. And I want to see him in a title shot. Because I think, again, him and Aspinall is fun. We know what's going to happen. Aspinall said it himself. He'll tackle him in the first 20 seconds, 10 seconds. And Aspinall will armbar him. But at least we get that hype and we get that, pre-fight build. And we can get a fun heavyweight fight with him like Derek Lewis. Tell me that's not exciting. Like, that's one of those fights that, you look back on like, oh, that happened. Yeah, Pereira, Derek Lewis. That's what I'd love to see next. Actually, I'd much rather see that over Sergey Pavlovich. But here I got to go Magomed Ankalaev. I just can't see Pereira get knocked out. I hope it does not happen. But I just don't see... I feel like this fight's going to be even more towards the direction of Ankalaev than Pereira. Pereira's only chance to me is via the knockout. And then early knockout at that, because I believe Magomed's grappling and his wrestling and his sambo is just going to make Pereira even more concerned with it, and it's just going to limit what Pereira is able to do offensively because of what Ankalaev is forcing upon him. I got to go with Makachala, Russia's own Magomed Ankalaev to retain and defend the light heavyweight championship by unanimous decision. I'm going to go 49-46. He drops the first, wins rounds 2 through 5. Be Magomed Ankalaev to win and retain against Alex Pereira. Oh, man. Folks, that does it for our UFC 320 predictions. We'll be back later in the week for our best bets and tomorrow for our PFL predictions. Tuesday morning, Contender Series predictions. And make sure to go check out the main channel, Greedo Plays. I hate that I have to pick Ankalaev to beat Pereira. But the thing is, I can't truthfully tell you that I cannot truthfully tell you I have confidence that Pereira beats Ankalaev, unfortunately. If I did, I would. I just don't. Yeah, I gotta go Ankalaev. That'll do it, folks. Make sure that subscribe button down below for more. We'll be back again for UFC Brazil next week, as hopefully Charles Oliveira's career doesn't go to crap after fighting Mateus Gamrot. I think Oliveira will be fine. We'll get to that next Sunday, folks. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure you like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do this good thing in the pics. Do us a great thing in the pics. Thank y'all for watching. And Mamba, forever.